Muchachos y muchachas. Oh, it's vindication time. Oh, yes, it is. Because for those of us that have been telling you about the Tate brothers and them being predators, oh, buddy, there's a whole slew of things that are coming out that are undeniable. I mean, the evidence has been there in our faces, especially the content that they created themselves, their content, their courses, the interviews and podcasts that they've done. I mean, they have self-snitched on themselves already, and it comes out of their own mouths. But people still are like, they are so blind that they will defend them till the very end. And I will say that if at the end of this video, even right now at the beginning, at the genesis of this video, if you still defend the Tate brothers, like, you are a nonce apologist. You are a child rape apologist, because again, there have been many videos, many pieces of content of him self-snitching on their methods, not just Andrew, but his brother as well. And, you know, for you to like see it come out their own mouths and still try to advocate for them, it's just wild to me. Anyway, let me move on. I'm going to be giving you guys some updates of what's been going on in the second case. And it has been very damning for the brothers. Even accounts that have stood with them and that have, you know, advocated for them. They are even reporting unbiased facts and things that are going on in the case. Now, let's take a pause and understand. There was a first case that was already ongoing. I believe in 2022 is when Andrew Tate was arrested the first time. And then, you know, the first case, and there's been like a lot of appeals by the court, and, you know, a lot of appeals, and there's a lot of pushback, right? There was a secondary case that was announced in June of 2023. That's last summer. So this is nothing new. This was not a surprise. This was announced June of 2023. So a lot of these Tate fans are going to come out and say, you know, well, it's really, really suspicious that, you know, all of a sudden he is, you know, arrested a second time. You know, it's because the first case didn't hold up, which is complete fault. Like, these are complete falsities. The first case did not let up. The first case is good enough to go to trial because the trial has been set, right? It has been the Tate brothers that have been appealing the courts and have been, you know, really pushing back on the trial from even starting, although they say that they have nothing to hide, which is contradictory, right? So with that being said, there has been a second case. It was announced June of 2023. And so now it's bearing fruit, and we're actually seeing things happen and details becoming more transparent. So I'm going to just go through these details for you to know. It is damning. And if there's anybody else that is still holding a Tate brothers flag, advocating for these child rapists, like, that's on you. Okay. So let's take a look at what's been going on. So this is one of the first updates I'm going to give you guys. This is actually an account on Twitter called Murdered by Crayons. Some of you who have been following the Tate case may know this account already. Murdered by Crayons has actually been on their tails since I would say close to the very beginning. Crab Crawler was another account that Twitter very suspiciously nuked, you know, and they won't bring them back. Murdered by Crayons has been very on the case and just reporting the facts as they come through. Now, in recent days, because these brothers have been raided, these details are becoming more and more transparent, and they're very damning once again. Now, Vivian, this chick right here that you see pictured with Andrew Tate, this was actually Andrew Tate's self-confessed bottom B first girlfriend. And for those of you who don't know what bottom Bs are, they are actually, you know, in the trafficking world, right? In the hierarchy of trafficking, they're like the pimp or the trafficker's top girl. And it's usually like their first girlfriend. They get them invested in a relationship, usually by the lover boy method. They profess like this big future. We need to build this big future together. But in order for us to accumulate wealth, I need you to do this thing, which is obviously prostitution. They will have them go and meet clients, make money. And then the next stage from that would be like, okay, well, let's grow even faster. Go recruit girls and tell them to do the same thing. We'll get more money. It'll be all yours. So Vivian was Andrew Tate's self-confessed, by the way, self-confessed bottom B first girlfriend, right? Now, the thing about Vivian is that, again, Andrew Tate he's really dumb because he self-confessed one time. I believe this was like one on his online. It was a video. And he basically admitted that this was his first bottom B and that she was an easy one. And he also mentioned the age. So at the time that he filmed, he actually said that she was 21 at the time and that he first started dating her 6 years from that or before that, which would make her a teenager, about 15 or 16 years old. Well, today it was confirmed that Tate, the international organization, has evidence that Andrew Tate started exploiting Vivian at the age of 17 in 2014, excuse me. The infamous belt beating video was filmed in 2012. Now, there was a video. So Andrew Tate was actually on this show called Big Brother. He was expelled or kicked off the show when this leaked video came out. And it was supposed that this was filmed in 2012. Now, this video, people are defending this too. I still don't think that it's right, but it was a fetish video. He was beating the crap out of her with a belt. She was obviously in a lot of pain. She later came out because, he did catch a lot of heat when this video came out or resurfaced. And she was basically like, that was just a thing that we were into, which I believe that he bribed her into making that video. That's just my personal opinion. Well, anyway, her home country has confirmed her age via letters rogatory and other evidence, right? So a scathing new document has been released from the Bucharest court detailing the circumstances of the victims in the second Romanian case. Vivian's age was corroborated by witnesses' chat messages and data from the international letters rogatory. This is what it reads. The fact that the victim was a minor results from the information obtained following requests for letters rogatory, revealing that at the time of recreating the account on MyFreeCam's platform, she was 17 years old. Okay. And first of all, I'm just going to pause and say that when it's infuriating, it is angering when you go online and you see that accounts are posting this thing that's coming out of the Romanian court, this document, and the simps are still defending Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, saying things like, well, I mean, like pedophilic things like, well, the age of consent in Slovakia is 15 or the age of consent in Romania is this or that. It still doesn't make it right. Like, what if the age of consent was 12 years old? Like, are you going to go and advocate and hold a sign for that? Like, it's just so depraved. This is what I'm telling you. Like, this is the discussion that I had with you guys yesterday, that it's good to have unlock your bias and not just think in a monolith. Like, it's not left versus right anymore. Like, there's just just looking good and bad, because the right is not always good. Like, there's some idiots on the right side and there's definitely some idiots on the left side, right? So at the same, it doesn't matter which side you kind of you lean towards politically. Still have this unbiased form of thinking, because things like this happen where people will just latch on to a certain personality or an influencer and they will defend them till the end, and they're now finding themselves in this type of room where they're advocating for child trafficking. Okay. So anyways, regarding the crimes of human trafficking, complicity in human trafficking, and attributed the three defendants, the judge notes that the judge notes that these result from corroborating the victim's statements with data obtained from the international letters rogatory, but also from the minutes rendering conversations conducted in writing through messaging applications, right? So they confirmed it through her home country. I believe there was like two different sources, from Romania and from Slovakia, basically confirming her age, and then through messaging that they obtained, okay? Or extrapolated. The webcam company has cooperated with Tate to provide information regarding the account and tokens earned. Her cam account was created when she was 17 years old. This is one of her previous accounts where she worked as an adult. Okay. So, I'm not sure if this provides any more. Yeah, it doesn't. So let's just exit out of this one. All right. So that's one of that. Okay. All right. So it could be that it is confirmed that she was first exploited by Tate when she was 17, right? And I believe that you have to be able to consent to sex work. You have to be 18, even in Romania. So that's still, she's considered a minor in Romania. Okay. Now this is Tate News, and I am personally really, really surprised that Tate News, of all accounts, is actually posting unbiased content, because this particular account is so pro Tate, so advocating for Tates and all of that, that them posting just facts, like just unbiased things that are coming out of court, is really shocking to me. But they are. Props where they're due. So even they are saying, and this is why I'm mentioning it, because even fans like the Tate News account, and go look at them. You can go look at all of their content. They have been so pro Tate, right? But if they are saying these things, then this is kind of like corroborating that these are actual sources from Romanian court. Anyway. Slovak authorities cooperated with Tate prosecutors and assisted them in an international's letters rogatory, confirming the alleged minor victim in the second Tate case. They provided them with an official statement assisting prosecutors with Vivian's official date of birth and details confirming her being 17, a minor back in 2014, at the time she was allegedly trafficked by Andrew Tate. My Free Cams also assisted and cooperated with Tate prosecutors regarding account ownership and and earnings. They also confirmed to Tate that her account was created when she was 17 years old. She is reportedly the first woman to webcam for Andrew Tate and was allegedly trafficked dated 2014 to December 2021. Okay. Just like Andrew Tate said on video, Andrew Tate has confessed this on video, that Vivian was his first girl, that was his first bottom B, and that she was easy. Well, no wonder, because she was so young, and because teenagers are impressionable, that's not a surprise to me that she was easy to become a bottom B for him, right? It makes him look pathetic. Okay, this is a direct quote from the judge. The fact that the victim was a minor is established from the information obtained through letters rogatory, which show that at the time the account was created on My Free Cam's platform, she was 17 years old. Vivian's age and details were confirmed by prosecutors through international's letters rogatory, but also from minutes of conversations conducted in writing from messaging applications. Due to her being an alleged trafficking victim, I am prohibited from legally including her name. Vivian is an alias / fake name she uses. Okay, so that's not her real name. Our Tate, okay, then this is like the little twist that they'll put at the end to kind of seem like they're straddling the fence. Are Tate's a victim of a setup, or is their past coming back to haunt them? Kind of to, I'll be honest, like Tate News is kind of covering their ass here because they have been so pro Tate, right? So here's this is one despicable commenter. This is Ryan Dawson, by the way, who has been found out to be paid by the Tates, right? So Ryan Dawson and his despicable, he said, 17 is not a minor in Slovakia or the UK, and webcamming isn't sex. Like, just an idiot, dude. You're just an idiot. There is evidence that this guy is being paid by Andrew Tate to basically mooch off of his behind, and basically say whatever he needs to say to his big following in order for, for him to. Let me click this comment. Seem legitimate. It's down here somewhere. I saw it. Here it is. Okay, so Ryan Dawson, Rye Liberty on Twitter. is being paid by Andrew Tate. So basically what happened, because I'm not going to go through all these messages, basically what happened, Myron Gaines from this podcast called Fresh and Fit called him out in a chat and basically said that he was being paid by Andrew Tate, right? So that's how we know. All right, I'm going to move on because there's a few more updates I want to go through. All right. So this is where it gets even more damning, all right? So Vivian Yes was 17 years old when she was exploited by Andrew Tate. Now, this is another case of a 15-year-old girl that was exploited by the Tates. Andrew Tate has been charged with repeatedly engaging, and it has parentheses, raping, in sexual intercourse, ANAL, and, or, you know what, with a 15-year-old girl. If you support Andrew Tate, you support this. Here's the document citing. It says continuous sexual acts with a minor without being able to establish the number of material acts, an offense provided for and punished by Art 220 para 1 and 4 criminal code with the application of Art, consistent with the fact that the named Andrew Tate started from blank 2020 being at the home address in blank country or in the complex of blank called blank, where he had rented an apartment to the victim, repeatedly engaged in sexual intercourse, and you know what, these types of intercourse right here, I'll point to, you can read out, knowing that she was 15 years old. So this guy, again, this guy knows exactly what he was doing. Imagine you're like this grown ass man, you're grown, and you're renting an apartment for a 15-year-old. How depraved do you have to be? Right? Like, how depraved do you have to be a grown man renting an apartment for a 15-year-old girl and then performing these acts? Okay. It gets even worse. Okay. So here is another account that's really great. Oh, by the way, I'm going to just continue to shout out these accounts. Gadgets, another great account on X or Twitter to follow, Gadget 440-27447. You guys can pause this to get the handle. But that's a great account for updates. And then Agent Adervid is another one too. So this is another update. Tate case. Andrew's attempt to bribe his minor victim foiled by Dicot. So this is the 15-year-old. The alleged victim, Tate, is accused of raping at the age of 15, admitted in a wiretapped telephone conversation with her friend how Andrew had sexually abused her when she was little, shortly after she gave an interview with Dicot, where she only said good things about Andrew. It was later revealed that Andrew had bribed her to lie to Dicot, which she confessed to after being re-interviewed following her telephone being tapped. She was at risk of being charged with perjury. The police then searched her phone and found that the WhatsApp messages from Andrew confirming her story. Okay, and this is sourced from a court transcript, the Dicot court transcript at the judge's motivation of the 22nd August, where Dicot proposed preventative measures. Excuse me. All right. Moving on. So this is... okay, so this is the same 15-year-old girl. So we're just kind of getting more details, illustrating this more. Again, this is Murdered by Crayons, saying that the Andrew Tate's 15-year-old victim speaks. Andrew told me that when I go to Dicot, I should only say good things about him, just like X did. For this, he offered me a sum of 5,000 euros, but he only gave me the equivalent in British pounds, which was just 2,500 euros in cash. Okay. So again, this is sourced from a court document. So Andrew Tate tried to bribe this 15-year-old to say only good things about him, which again is the theme that you see online. Andrew Tate, his brother Tristan Tate, are hiring bots, and they're hiring personalities like Ryan Dawson and whoever knows who else, right? I mean, there's a lot of accounts that I suspect that are just going, like, there's one account called Suleiman something on X that is just like their lapdog, continuously lying about this case, right? So it does not surprise me that he tried to bribe this 15-year-old. All right, and then here is some more. some more evidence that was presented from the case. Dicott presented evidence in this case, text messages seemingly showing that the Tate brothers knew what they were doing was pimping, and they knew it can get them into trouble with the law. Tristan even compared a situation to that of Alex Body, a man that currently is on house arrest in Romania on charges of sex trafficking, child rape, and child pornography. An associate of theirs suggests forming an NGO/charity so they can get suspended sentence. Okay, so basically, Alex Body is another person that I want to do a video on because this is a Romanian, again, like it's like all of these child exploiters. There's another one called Joe Lampton that I believe just recently got linked to the Tate case, or maybe they were linked back last year. But Alex Body is another man who is being suspected of exploiting minors in Romania. And this is one of the Tate's friends. So it says, furthermore, it was highlighted that Andrew and Tristan identify themselves as a notion of pimps, fully aware that their lover boy recruitment method essentially makes them true pimps. Andrew Tate, from a transcript, says, I want you to, but maybe I'll run my pimping empire without anyone whining. I need to go out with my gangsters, to do pimping, to be a boss. I'll continue to be a pimp. I'd do it if you'd let me be a pimp. I'm still a pimp for fun. Tristan Tate. But I need to go to Romania to be the pimp of some whores. Pimping got me to my brother out of the ghetto. Pimping got me and my brother out of the ghetto. I need to take pimping seriously. Now, only focus on pimping, baby. I'm not sure if I should adopt the merciless pimping method and beat these stupid girls. You keep the website running. I'll maintain the pimping. Okay. So they were aware of what they were doing. Okay. They were aware of what they were doing. They were calling themselves pimps themselves. Again, they're just self-snitching. They made it easy for these investigators. They self-snitch all day, every day, up and down, left and right. They told on themselves. Okay. And I'll just pause and say that I believe, this is just my personal opinion. I believe, and it's funny because, let me start with this. A lot of Tate boy fans, Tate stans, they'll say, well, this is the most common thing they'll say. Well, if the Tates are so guilty, then why are they running around free? It's funny, huh? It's funny that they're running around free, but they've got all this evidence pinned up against them. But the thing is, the Tate brothers were never free. Okay. They were either on house arrest or they were on judicial control. Right. And basically house arrest is house arrest the way it is here in America. And judicial control is kind of like making bail, like you're out in bail, but the parameters are kind of set by the court, which the parameters for them, the Tate brothers, is set into Romania. So it's not that they were ever free. They were definitely still in control, still had to report to the court. But these Tate bros will make that whole argument, right? But I say all that because I believe the strategy of the strategy of investigators was to let them off on a little leash, let their leash loose a little bit more and more, right? Let them do what they want to do. Let them think that they're free. Let them think that they beat the system, right? But when dumb criminals are let off like that, what happens? They do more stupid things. They do more incriminating things. They talk about more incriminating things about themselves. That's what I believe happened, to be honest with you. Okay, so them calling themselves pimps and stuff, they're just really arrogant. All right. So I just wanted to show you this because this is just disgusting. Joseph McBride is a lawyer for the Tates in the United States. There was a documentary that came out by the BBC that covered a little bit about the Tates, and one of the victims did come out and talk about how that Andrew Tate strangled her and raped her to the point where her blood vessels bursted in her eyes. And this guy, this piece of trash, basically was laughing at that, thinks it's really funny. I'll be honest with you, I think that it's okay for conservatives to call out other conservatives, and to me, this is absolutely disgusting. Once again, unlocking your thinking, unlocking your bias to just go for what is right. And so this guy right here needs to be called out. He's being disgusting, right? All right, here's the next update here. More acknowledgement from the Tate, Tate investigation. I'm not going to go through this particular update because it's a little lengthy and I wanted to kind of make this video concise. All right. This update was pretty damning. Okay. Because again, this is corroborated by Tate News, which is a Tate fan account, and also Murdered by Crayons, which is not a Tate fan account. They're opposites, right? But both of them at the same time are saying that there is a transcript. Let me read this. This is the same update, but by two very opposite accounts. It says, there are official transcripts released by the Romanian courts in the second Tate case involving the 15-year-old minor. Tate is allegedly accused of sleeping with, and they are truly disturbing and horrifying. I will not be posting them as I will risk an account suspension. More updates coming soon, okay? And Murdered by Crayons reported the same theme. There's a chat transcript in Tate's new Romanian document that is too sensitive and disturbing to share here. And it involved the 15-year-old child. I feel physically nauseous after reading it. Whatever his sentence is won't be enough. All right? So again, I just want to remind you. Murdered by Crayons and Tate News are two very opposite accounts. Very opposite accounts. Tate News is very pro-Tate. Very, very pro-Tate. Although lately they've been unbiased. And they've been just posting the facts. Murdered by Crayons, very anti-Tate account. Very anti-Tate, still posting an unbiased fact that there is a transcript out there. Think about this. That there are two accounts that are very opposite in nature from each other that are saying the same thing. That there is a transcript between Tate and this 15-year-old girl that is just so disturbing, so gross, okay, that none of them will be posting it on X. Like, that's pretty major. Again, pretty major. All right. And this is just to exhibit that there's another guy. We talked about Alex's body. This is another one named Joe Lambton. And Tate News is sharing that sources say that Romanian multimillionaire Joe Lambton, who was linked to the Tates in last year's human trafficking case, might be accused of additional crimes in a new file named as Andrew and Tristan. CLUJ prosecutors aren't sure they can get a conviction in the first case, and now they're digging up new accusations. All right. So it's linked. So these Tate brothers are linked not only to one alleged child trafficker named Alex Body, but there's another guy. It's not mentioned that this guy Joe Lambton is accused of child trafficking, but he is linked in a human trafficking case. So those are some of the latest updates on the Tate case, the secondary case. It does look to be like this is a big snowball that is just coming down on their heads right now. Just when they think that they're going to be let off, or they think that they have a strategy to get out of their situation, it just keeps getting worse for them. This is severely incriminating for anybody that wants to defend them and basically make argument that certain ages should be considered because it's a certain, age of consent in another country, and you're just sick. Like, you're just sick. And here's the thing. If you guys see these people in comments, including in this video, because I guarantee you I'm going to get a bunch of trolls, about a bunch of Tate fans, a bunch of Tate stans, Tate boys that are going to be commenting under this video trying to defend him. When you see people like this in any social media platform, go in. Because it's not right. Like, we as a society need to call this stuff out. They need to be called what they are, which are predators, nonces, people who are advocating for child rape apologists. Like, no, you need to go call it out. So if you see that happening in any comment section, please call them out, right? And make it known. Like, we need to bring shame back in our society. Anyways, those are a few updates. Thank you guys for hanging out. I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.